My number one quarterback of the 2022 NFL draft class is Kenny Pickett of Pittsburgh. Kenny Pickett is my top guy, and I will say this, I was not expecting to make Kenny Pickett my top guy. I, going into this, was probably thinking he was going to be third-ish. And the way that a lot of people are talking about him, obviously the hands thing, which we'll discuss, is commonly coming up with Kenny Pickett. Then we've got, him being more of the system quarterback that I think a lot of people are describing him as opposed to Malik Willis or Matt Corral or somebody like that. And I think a lot of people are seeing that he doesn't have super great traits, and a lot of people are willing to take the guys with more eye-popping highlights than, Kenny Pickett, who's NFL ready. So let's get to our strengths and our weaknesses for Kenny Pickett, who is my, at least for now, top quarterback in the 2022 NFL draft. So Kenny Pickett. What impressed me about Kenny Pickett? He is the smartest quarterback in the draft class. And last season, I was all about Mac Jones, and I should have, looking back on it, and I will say this now, I really wanted to rank Mac Jones first, but I didn't. So this year, I am reconstructing myself, and I'm putting Kenny Pickett first. Kenny Pickett is the smartest quarterback in the class. His processing is the fastest. He reads the game the fastest. He makes his decisions the fastest. And to me, that's what's most important at the quarterback position. Does he have the strongest arm? No. But does he have a good arm? Yes. He has an NFL arm. He doesn't have a Brett Favre arm, but he has a good arm. His accuracy is pretty consistent. He's definitely accurate at all levels of the field, especially short and intermediate, which I think is going to lend well to the NFL. He also has a great deep ball. He has very good touch on his deep ball for sure, without a doubt. And when it's there, he will uncork it and he'll make the throw. His pocket presence is by far the best in the class. He actually understands how to manipulate the pocket, how to move in the pocket, left, right, center, whatever. And a lot of these quarterbacks are very, very flawed when it comes to their pocket ability. He's a strong decision maker. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes, but he's also a little bit conservative. So you can take decision making. What I'm more so looking for is is he making the right throw in the right situation? Is he throwing to the right guy? Is he throwing it away when he needs to? He's the most developed in terms of understanding how to play the position and where to go with the ball at what time. He's also a very deceptive athlete. Very deceptive. He is a way better athlete than I thought everybody was giving him credit for when I watched him. Everybody was saying he was kind of an average athlete. I strongly disagree with that. His vision is good. Would I say it's Mac Jones or Joe Burrow? No. But he's a pretty good just being able to see the field and go to the right guy and finding him. Now, his weaknesses. His release isn't bad, don't get me wrong, but it's not as good, I would say, as definitely Corral. Corral's is phenomenal. And Willis, I think, also has a better release than Pickett, but Pickett's is solid. Conservative decisions, as I said. Sometimes he's a little bit too quick to throw the ball underneath or to get rid of the ball when maybe he could go to a guy that's a little bit deeper down the field or make a more challenging throw. Sometimes he drifts outside the pocket when facing pressure and the blitz and will try to make a play outside the pocket. Maybe when he doesn't have to. I'd prefer that he just uses his accuracy and his throwing ability to just stand in the pocket and make a throw instead of trying to run around and make plays. His hand size, which, yes, it's not a joke. He legitimately has small hands, and that does concern me. And his arm angles. He does not have a lot of different deliveries, which is something that is a big key thing in the NFL today, which I don't think matters as much as people think, but it is a thing. Like Matthew Stafford ability to throw the ball an inch off the ground, sidearm on a screen. Like, yeah, that's cool, and it does help, but it's not essential. I mean, Tom Brady doesn't really throw the ball like from halfway off the ground, sidearm, and he's the best quarterback of all time. Peyton Manning didn't throw the ball like underhand, so it doesn't really matter. But it does matter too. It's nice to have. It's nice to be able to throw the ball like Mahomes like this and throw the ball 20 yards, but Kenny Pickett doesn't really do that and part of it is because of his gloves and his hands. So when you have massive hands and you can just grab the ball, you can basically rip it around, right? You could grab the ball like LeBron James just grabs the basketball. You can grab the football and you could just rip it, right? You could throw it from any angle and every platform because it doesn't matter. But when your hands are smaller, you have to throw it with your proper mechanics, and you can't throw it all over the place because you can't grip the ball the same way. And the other thing that hand size does matter is in the cold weather. When the ball is slicker, obviously, gloves are not as good in that weather as well, so it's going to be difficult for him to play in New England 8 games a year. But but also he played in Pittsburgh too, so this is why it's not a big concern, because he legitimately played a lot of games in Pittsburgh in cold weather, in inclement weather, and he played well. So I don't think those things are massively concerning. Just don't expect him to be Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady when the snow is there, right? So, and here's the thing. That would be a bigger deal if I was judging, if his quarterback class was Mahomes, Herbert, all these guys, okay, yeah, I'd move Kenny Pickett down a couple notches. But I'm judging him based on the other players in his class. And that doesn't take away from him being the best, most mature pocket passer and thrower and passer and consistent ability to make quarterback NFL plays. And those things matter to me more. So let's break down more of the notes I got here. And again, guys, I was not expecting to have Kenny Pickett first. I really wasn't. So he's 6'3", 220. Good size, good height. They call him Kenny Two Gloves for a reason. He is the most nuanced quarterback in the class by a mile. It's not even close. He has a lot of experience. He looks taller than 6'3". He looks like he's 6'5". He stands very high, very tall in the pocket, which I like. He looks very confident. Even the way he was working his pro day, which I don't really care much about what happened in the pro day, but just the way he situates himself when he's throwing. It's very confident. It's very I like it. He has a good arm, like I said, not a great elite arm, but it's a good NFL arm. He can make all the throws. I wish he had a slightly stronger arm to make some tight window throws, but it's not a huge deal. He is really accurate at the intermediate level, and I do feel out of all of these quarterbacks, he's the most mature at throwing at that level of the field and understanding concepts of when to go to that, when to pick on certain things. He throws a very catchable ball. It's very easy, for even little touch passes to running backs on wheels and stuff like that. Deep balls, very good. Quick-minded, goes through his progressions really well. He is somebody that played in a pro West Coast style offense, and that is absolutely huge because you see all of the real NFL transferable things on his tape. I think this is the biggest area where it made him my number one for me is I wasn't sure about putting him number one because I didn't know whether or not he was a good enough athlete to suggest he could be my number one guy. But he is actually very slick and very underrated at eluding pressure. He is very underrated in this regard. His feet impressed me. His ability to avoid rushers impressed me. His ability to extend plays and actually make throws on the move with vision impressed me. So I wasn't, after I saw that, I was like, you know what? I'm not really all that concerned about his athleticism. I thought I would be based on all the rumors and things that people were saying because they kind of describe him as a lackluster athlete in ways that I don't think exist when you watch his tape. So he's definitely the safest quarterback. He's definitely the most ready, but that doesn't also not make him the best. That's something I want people to understand. He's good in the pocket. He's twitchy when he has to make a move. What else we got? He can scramble. He definitely can scramble. He kind of reminds me of like a faster Matt Ryan, the way that he runs. He's got deceptive speed, definitely. And not a lot of wow factor on his tape. The wow factor is just watching him process and go through and make the right plays. He plays with passion. He seems to be a good leader. He won quite a bit of games and elevated a lot of the talent on his team. He's played a ton of football. I like him. I like Kenny Pickett. Do I love him? Like, would I absolutely be all over him to be my franchise quarterback? No, probably not. But I do like him as the best quarterback in this class. And I do think he is the best, most ready NFL guy in this class that should go the highest in this class, probably. Holden says he does bail from clean pockets. He does do that, which I do think is one of his flaws. I think I put that on my thing. He does do that sometimes. Not all the time, but he does tend to do that. But the surprising thing about him was his ability to actually be able to extend those plays often. But a lot of the other guys do that as well. So it's not really like he actually makes more within the pocket and an ability to kind of move like in the pocket throws than the other guys do. So again, I am just assessing him versus his competition in this draft class. And to me, he's the best. I don't think this is a great class of quarterbacks, but I do see Kenny Pickett as the top guy and the guy that will make the most difference day one in the NFL for sure. Again, guys, I was pretty close between Matt Corral and Kenny Pickett. And I would say that 3 quarterbacks in this class have a claim to be a first-round pick. The others, I would say no, probably more like third-rounders to me. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section.